that they should welcome this new development.
But of course they say that in a time of tension, as they put it, the crews will be moved around, and that the Russians really won't strike Greenham Common and Newbury.
That is the whole rationale for them of sighting crews here. But for us, I mean, there is the problem of actually transporting these things, even if that should happen, and clearly there's the risk of accident. But more importantly, since they made that statement, we now know that one flight of cruise missiles is to be permanently armed when on the base.
With nuclear weapons?
Oh, indeed, and they are building super-hardened silos in order to protect those armed weapons. So we think it's a nonsense that they will be moved around. When they feel that they ought to tell the people something, then the propaganda is extremely crude, just as crude as one might think it would be in the USSR. And this is a blatant example of
that. In January 1980, Francis Pym, then Defence Secretary, reassured people living near the bases that the cruise missiles in no way endangered them. From the air, one can see clearly just how close danger would be. In September 1980, a civil defence exercise was carried out based on what British intelligence understood would happen in a nuclear attack. The first 3 nuclear bombs fell here. Greenham Common and Newbury were wiped out.
When I first saw this, I noticed the subtitle, which is a vital part of the West's life insurance. And it struck me that I was being sold a life insurance policy. And I suppose, in a sense, the thing to do is, as one does with any advertising that one's thinking about carefully, if you want to buy a life insurance policy, you really start asking some hard questions about it and take that package apart. To begin with, it's headed the balance of longer-ranged, land-based theatre nuclear forces. I want to know why they're only talking about land-based forces. Britain has got its Polaris submarines, the French, if one were to count them in, have got their submarine-launched missiles, and the Americans have earmarked 40 to 45 missiles carrying 400 warheads to NATO's use, which should be included in this category.
Well, I think it's quite simple, really. It's expected that the ordinary member of the public will look at these tall pink blocks, USSR, and the low blue blocks, NATO, and come to the conclusion that NATO is miles behind the USSR. But this is only one category of weapons, and so this is an extremely dishonest presentation.
And then when I look and see that on the NATO side they have referred to just 2 types of aircraft, when in fact based in Western Europe there are half a dozen types which are capable of dropping nuclear weapons on the Soviet Union, then